Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Layer Explorer. Today with us, we have Anh Cao. We studied together at AUB, Bournemouth. She's an amazing artist. She's an incredible art director, illustrator, background designer. I think the way she approaches color, like you can definitely see her confidence and how bold she is with her color decisions in her painting. And I think you get a little bit of that feel just by the way she talks about her painting and her approach. It's one of those episodes where it's like quite a big learning curve for me, especially because I feel like I'm still quite rigid with my layer organization, with the way I kind of structure my method. And she was a little bit more loose and organic and colorful. But okay, I'm not gonna spoil anymore. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. And hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Layer Explorer, the show where I get to invite my favorite artists and listen to them and watch them as they unpeel their Photoshop files and talk about their techniques and the way they approach their own paintings or illustrations or character designs. One day I'll do an animation episode for character animation, but not today. Today we have Anh Cao. I think we've known each other since AUB. I remember I remember seeing you at the illustration course, and I was a little bit confused of like if you did illustration the whole time, but you've clarified it. And yeah, you started in animation, and you changed to illustration after that, and
I actually started in VFX for
started
2
in
weeks.
VFX.
Yeah.
But did you do like foundation? No,
No. I didn't do foundation at AUB.
you didn't do
I just
so
I actually applied for the animation course, got rejected, but they offered me a place in VFX. So I went to the VFX course for 2 weeks, and I decided I really, really hate it.
yeah.
So I asked to change back to animation, and they let me in.
That is legendary because I tried to apply for the animation course. I didn't get through. I didn't pass the interview, and I had to do an entire year of foundation. Only if I knew that I could have started the illustration and then do a cheeky like swap to the animation and get there anyway. That would have like knowing
Yeah.
this would have saved me 1 year of study. But I would have lost 1 year of parties too. So I guess like I would end up losing
Yeah,
anyway.
foundation is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I definitely hacked the system. Because
Yeah.
then on my final year, I decided I want to do illustration, so I switched to illustration. So I actually did 3 courses in 3 years.
Wow. That's a really good introduction. I'm like, do you wanna present yourself? Do you wanna like I guess you already started.
But yeah, hi. I'm an art director, business artist, background artist based in London. Currently, I'm art directing a show, a preschool show for carrot animation, which is gonna come out the end of this year, which is very exciting.
Very exciting. And can you give us like some context to what we are about to witness, this illustration, without spoiling like the crowd? What are we going to be looking at? Which file we're going to be exploring?
Oh, so I think over the past few years, I've been traveling a lot, and I've always want to paint like places I've visited. So when I travel, I would do like a gouache painting, but sometimes there's like a scene where I can't like sit down and paint. I would take a photo, and I would do like a painting of it later. So this is one of them. Is a painting of a place I visited in Bali last year or the year before. I did a trip to Bali with a bunch of my friends from school, and I don't know what it's called, but we were like by the coast, and I think they call it like a billabong. It's like a rocky bit where the water came in, but then because the rock bit is so high that the water kind of trapped in that bit, and it kind of became like a swimming pool.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that had a name.
I think it's called billabong. I don't know. Or my friend made it up and told it to me.
Okay,
But basically, it's like this bit, like this pool of water just like by the beach that's like protected by the cliff. And we went down there to swim, and the water, I don't know if you've seen water, like photo from Indonesia, but the water's super, super clear. Like you can actually see the bottom. So it's like a really beautiful scene. So yeah, it's a painting of that.
Cool. Okay, exciting. And you just take these photos with like your iPhone, but then like you or you have like a camera, or you just do like I'm kind of wondering like the limitation of the photographic thing of like you take a photo, but then you already know that like you want to be exploring it in this specific style even when you take the photo, or you just kind of take photos of a lot of things and then look back and I'm like, okay, this could be a painting or that could be a painting. Like how early does that idea come?
The idea of me wanting to paint it.
Yeah. In this case, this specific pool or other situations similar.
I think when I saw the pool, I already thought I really want to paint it because it's so beautiful. And then I took loads of photos of it. I think my friend took a video of me swimming in it. I think usually I don't really take. Well, I take a lot of landscape photos, and usually it's for like reference for painting. But I think any photo of landscape I take would be one way or another a reference for like my painting.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Should we get to the layers then?
Cool. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, we're back. So tell us, what is the first layer we're gonna be looking at?
Okay, I didn't name any of my layers because I was working on Procreate. But I think this is the first one. It's just like a really rough sketch of the painting. Yeah. Unfortunately, usually when I finish a painting, I will go through my files and just delete all the layers that I don't need, including all the reference. So I don't really have any reference in here or like other sketches. But I think I did quite a few different sketches for this one. I did like a really, really rough sketch. And then this is like a cleaner version of it.
So you finish paintings and then your final step is like, okay, I'm going to add the final highlight. And then after the final highlight, I'm going to go back to the file and delete everything I don't need. Is it like to free up space on the iPad or something?
Yeah. I think because sometimes on Procreate, when the file is really big, you have a limit for how many layers you want. So I think usually I just like delete the layers that I don't need. Or like, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want to be attached to anything that I don't want. So I just like delete them.
Kind of forces you to move forward. It's like, okay, there's no looking back in this painting. We can only go forward with this rendering.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think, so for the background, I kind of knew what I wanted to do already. So these are just like really rough like idea of where the cliff is and the edge of the pool and where the water would be. So yeah, these are just really, really rough. And I'm not a really sketchy person because I much prefer painting. So I would do like a rough sketch of like the silhouette of things, and then I'll go in with the color pass, and that's when I will like carve out the detail.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a very impatient person. I don't really like black and white sketch. Yeah, so I think after this, I went in with like the base color of the water. The water was green. So this was the base color. I'm just gonna turn this sketch down so we can see more.
So you are turning on the layers in a way that is kind of chronological to the way you approach the actual painting.
Then. Yeah.
Okay.
I will try. Will try. But I really don't know what's in this file actually. It's been a long time. Yeah. So this is just a base layer. Actually, I've got really into traditional painting, and after a while I just start really like the watercolor and like traditional brush texture. Mm-hmm. So I found this brush that has like more of like the opacity of like watercolor. So I think you can see a little bit of like texture here.
Yeah.
And the blending mode of the brush is like really blendy.
Uh-huh.
It's not like a hard edge. It's more like a gradient edge. So sometimes you can like blend colors together as you paint it, which I find really fun.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't like to keep things too like exact. I like to like let it kind of play out.
And do you know where your color was going? So like, because in here it's like already like we have this big green, and you're already going with this kind of second color that has a bit more texture. Do you have some sort of color thumbnail that you're basing yourself on, or do you're like the photo? You're like, okay, I want this green from that photo that we can't see like anymore. But like how? Because I don't have, for me personally, I don't have the confidence to just go in with color and like and just start dropping the colors and then like they somehow work. But in here, it kind of looks like you did that. So, what's your approach?
That's a really good question because I have very different approach every time I paint. This for me is more like a comfort painting. So I reference a lot of the color from the photo reference. I know
Cool.
the water is green, so that's why I started with green. A lot of the base color for all of everything is actually just based on the reference photo. And then yeah, at the end I kind of like tweak it a little bit.
Mm,
But when for other type of painting, when I have a little bit more time, I would do like a few different color paths, like a rough sketch of like how I want the color to be, or like experiment with different color combinations, and then I'll just export that color sketch out and put it on the next to where I'm painting as
yeah.
a reference. So using that as a reference. But for this one, I just used the photo. So I went in with more realistic color, basically.
Cool. 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 Cool.
Yeah, I think like one downside of using photo as reference that like when you take a photo, especially with your phone kind of edit the photo already.
Yeah.
So it like kind of boosts the contrast. So the darkness in the photo is really dark. It's not good to use it as reference if you like color picking from the photo, because then you end up just getting a really dark color
Yeah.
instead of getting like the local color of the object. So that's like a downside, but like usually I would keep that in mind, and I would make sure to like think about the local color that I'm putting on instead of just the color I'm seeing on the photo.
That's
Um,
skills right there to know the difference between like I'm not trusting this photo. I trust it enough to like push the painting forward, but I'm not trusting it fully. I'm picking my own colors. Pretty cool.
yeah, I think that's like one of the thing I learned from doing plein air and wash painting. That like after a while doing plein air, you kind of like learn how to observe things. So you never really get like black or really dark thing in
Yeah.
real life. Um, so yeah, it's just yeah, it's also I'm a very colorful person. So whenever I see like a dark shadow, I'm like, I don't like it. I'm gonna turn it blue or something like that.
Interesting. Nice. Very nice. And
Um,
what would be the next step then in this illustration?
so the next step is the rest of the
What?
colors.
This is one
Yeah,
layer?
yeah.
Wow,
I work
okay. I
in
see
one.
what you mean now about like you like to kind of blend the colors. Like, wow, this is like a huge jump. Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I've been really enjoyed just painting everything in one layer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like kind of annoying because you can't really undo things or like layer things like behind and before, like before things.
Yeah.
But then it's more like sculpting thing flat, and
Yeah.
it's more like a traditional painting, which I really enjoy. So yeah, same with like I think I only use like one brush for this painting, or actually the character I use a different brush because it needs a little bit more detail. But for the rest, I think I use like the watercolor texture brush. And then just blending in. It's really hard to talk about the process because it's all in one layer, and
Yeah.
I can't remember where I start.
Is this the same brush that Ola uses? I think I remember Ola being like, "Oh, I have this specific watercolor brush." No, I don't think it was watercolor. I'm now curious because I know that two of you are close, and I'm like, do you like probably draw together as well? And I'm like, do you share also like, okay, try this brush, no, try that brush?
I'm not sure, but I use the Cao gouache pack.
Okay, I don't know. I have to check back to the reel with Ola when there's like she lists the brushes that she likes to use.
Yeah, I use a gouache pack from Kyle. What's the
Cool.
they're really good. Yeah, so just went in and sculpting every like the little detail. I guess like at the beginning I was like doing it in sections. So I'll did this bit and then I'll did this bit and I'll did this bit and then the cliff at the top, and then I just went in with more different tone of the same color to like give it a little bit more dimension at places.
Yeah.
It was really hard to do the water bit. I think I probably did it like many times on the same layers. Like I think I remember just like painting and like not deleting, but like just scrubbing it out and like painting it again because I couldn't figure out how I want the water to look. So I kind of like trying things out as I go, because I think what annoying is that because the water is so clear, so the bottom of the water is actually really bright. But then, you know, when you put like a bright color or like a lighter color, it looks like it's at the front instead of at the back. While the bottom of the water should be like the furthest things. So I think that was like the struggle throughout. So yeah, it kind of have to like find the balance between like the lighter shade and like or like also like the rock under the water is like darker, but then you have to make sure it's like it looks like it's underwater. So yeah, if you I sometimes turn it into black and white just so I can see the tone. So if I turn it to black and white, the top of the cliff and then this dry bit of the rock and the bottom of the water looks like it's the same plane, which is really annoying, like really frustrating to do. So yeah, that was my process until this point, just like playing around with color and like different shading and like trying to sculpt all of the rocky bit, but not making it too detailed.
Okay.
And then I went in with the same brush but like smaller, so the edge will be a little bit more crisp. So yeah, I went in with like more detail. Like these are like I really like doing like these more dotty stroke as like highlight and like shadow. Because it kind of give it a little bit more dimension, but also not too overwhelming. So like I can place a lot of like little dots around, but like in different tone. So it gives like more depth. So yeah, this is that. Just playing around with a lot of like saturation and hue. And this is where I start experimenting with the color more of the water. Yeah, it was kind of hard because I wanted to have like the water effect, but then also not sure how it should look. Especially like I think like this area was kind of easy to do because I just did like patches of water, like the ripple patch. But then on top of the rock, it's kind of harder because then I put this layer on top of the rock and then it adds more dimension, but it also kind of, I don't know how to explain. It's it can be a little bit too much.
I see.
So finding the balance between like shape of ripples and then just like a little bit of blue is was a little hard at this point.
Yeah.
I definitely tried out a few different layers of like water ripple that I probably already deleted.
Super nice. And because I see like some variations, you like shift the hue a little bit or you shift like the saturation a little bit. And so there's a lot of variation, but it's in such a nice harmony, like all around, like it's not a very, it's quite a complex palette in terms of like the amount of colors you have there, but they kind of are so respectful of each other's like colors in a way, like just works so well so far. I'm sure it's gonna,
thank you.
every layer that you turn on is gonna add another like, wow. Okay, wow.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, the blue part of this layer was kind of like a creative decision to bring more blue into the painting, because the photo is definitely more green. Like it should, like if I was doing it realistically, it should have been just green. But I think like I wanted the blue to come in to add a little bit more contrast to the green instead of having everything all green. Because of the warmth of the sun, the rocky bit is also very warm and yellow. So it's too close to the green water. So yeah, definitely had to play around quite a lot there.
Yeah.
And this is a highlight, which is where I highlight where the water ripple like pushing onto the rock. So it's kind of like sculpting or like highlighting the water movement, which is really fun to do. More layer of water dimension. Oh, this is, I think at this point, I was like, the rock is looking too gray and too cold. It doesn't make sense because the sunlight is so warm. It should really be more warm. So I add like, I guess, an overlay of like a yellow, so to warm up the rock at the top a little bit.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. What a shift.
Yeah, what did I do? I can't remember. It
Is
looks
this in
like
a blending mode?
It's an overlay.
Overlay, okay.
It has a little bit more noise. So I probably use like a noise brush to add these blending mode.
Okay.
So this was my the character layer.
Yeah.
So just local color. Yeah, I use a different brush for this because I want it to be more crisp, as it's like the focus of the painting.
Yeah.
And then I add like this water layer on top. I think I just duplicate the character and then I add like a layer of water, I guess,
So
in different blending mode.
Yeah,
but like
it adds like volume to the character. It's really nice.
Yeah, because it's kind of like half underwater.
Yeah.
And you want the underwater bit to reflect the color of the water underneath as well. So it has like a little bit of green, a little bit of blue. And then I think this is just to add more dimension. And then this layer was to add the lighting on top.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Why did I do that? I don't know.
Super nice.
I think I added this because without this, it looks a little bit too separated from the water because the hair is still a little bit too dark. So I added to lighten the hair.
Very cool. It's almost like the water version of atmospheric perspective. It's like the deeper it goes in the water, then the more density of these like blue layers it has to create that really nice depth. Yeah, super cool. You also added it to the feet. I think to the knee a little bit.
Yeah, the knee is just like the lighting on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the base layer was the color of the body was too pinky, orangey, pinky. And it doesn't really go with the palette. So that's why here I was just trying to figure out how to incorporate it more.
Yeah.
And looks like I merge everything into one layer. I mean like all the character layers into one layer.
And
and like do a little bit of blurring
Nice.
around the edge, just so to make it look more watercolory. Yeah. So going back to this layer. So after the character, I start like adding more color pass to the background. So this is the color pass. I think I did turn this character on. Yeah, color pass.
Super cool.
Yeah, just to incorporate more color in, because before this, it was still like in general, it has a lot of color, but it's still quite not as colorful as I like my things to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, adding more light, like yellow light into the water, and especially in this area, because this is the shallow bit of the water, so it's closer to the sun basically. So it should be more saturated if the furthest part is the least saturated.
Yeah.
Added some lighting behind the character just to give it a little bit of like a silhouette behind, like give the character a little bit more of like a silhouette. Because behind the rock is kind of, it's almost too in the way. And maybe I was too lazy to go back and redraw the rock. So I just add a lighting to kind of like push it a little bit further so we don't see the rock. And then yeah, obviously like lighting on the cliff and here, a little bit of noise in the brush. Yeah, and then the green reflection into the water. I think this is an empty layer. So I might delete layer. That.
Nice.
Oh wow, so many empty layer. Let me just delete that for.
Oh, we have a final like layer of like little details.
Yeah, so it's just similar to like the highlight around the rock.
Yeah.
This is just highlight on the body, just to push the character further into the water. Oh, this is another highlight.
Where is this one?
This is a hair.
Oh,
on like the rock under the water.
Yeah, okay.
I think this is one of those little details where I probably like looking at this painting for so long, and I probably at this point I couldn't decide if I'm finished or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just playing around to add more highlights, and I probably deleted some of it. And then this one is also just some really tedious highlight detail here. It probably doesn't matter. Like I probably didn't need to do it. I probably just like so bored or like just didn't know what to do at this point.
So cool.
And I think this was like almost the finished painting.
Yeah.
And usually on Procreate, I would like duplicate all of the layers and then merge it into like one final layer and then play around with that layer. Because, in Procreate, you can do like motion blur and you can do chromatic aberration.
Yeah.
So this is that. I merge all the layer. I probably use the warp tool to like warp different section a little bit, just so the composition kind of fold nicely.
Can you zoom in a little bit so I can see a little bit of that texture? Can you like this last layer that you turned on? Can you turn it on and off so we can see like the? Okay.
So I
okay.
I kind of distort the painting a little bit here.
Cool.
And then add like the other effects and then a little bit of motion blur. I think that really helps, especially to add to the water effect.
Yeah.
Because before you can still see the rock edge quite clearly, which is nice. But then with this effect, it kind of make it more like the water is moving almost, which I find really fun. And then a little bit more highlight and I guess dot and sparkle just to make it more fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. This is it. Oh wait, there's another one. I think I just like tweak the composition a little bit, but it's basically
Oh,
the same.
okay. Wow. That's amazing. You know what's funny? Like when you started turning on the layers, I thought the pool was that big rock shape in the middle. But then when you turned on the blues, I saw that the water was all around. But at first, I thought the water was just gonna be that center thing, because of like the fact that you made that color so much like different from the others, and now it's like really nicely blended in. But I felt like the water kept kind of rising as you revealed the painting. Like it started from this like little shape in the middle, and then like went out and out and out and out.
Yeah. It's kind of it's a really fun painting to do. Actually, I before this I never painted water before, so this was like my first time trying it. So
Cool.
it took a lot of like trial and error, and yeah, it's definitely really fun just playing around. Like I now looking at it, I'm like really happy with how I did the rocky and like the dimension of it. Like you can see there's still different tone in the rock. Like there's like
Yeah.
a little bit brownish color in there. Instead of just blue, which would have been more photorealistic. Um,
Yeah. And I
but
can
yeah,
definitely see that
it's
you like
definitely fun.
color. You definitely like color. Like there is a lot
I
of
think,
color there. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
yeah, yeah. Ironically, when I start uni, I hated color and I painted everything in black and white, and now I'm like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah. One of the things that I teach like to my students is like if you have a color that is very dominant that exists a lot in the painting, then don't give it so much saturation. But I always say, look, but there are artists that do the opposite of this and it looks amazing. And this is like an example of like there's a lot of color, there's a lot of saturation, but it's so nicely balanced that it's just like eye candy, like it's so nice to look at, and they have a very nice harmony, all the colors, and then with obviously the focal point in the middle with the character, and everything. So mwah, amazing stuff. um
Thank you.
at the end of each layer explore, I'm trying this new thing called a quick tip. I already told you about this before we started recording. And in this quick tip, basically whoever is the guest shares a quick tip of something that they find useful, something that they do in their paintings, or a certain mindset they have, or a certain principle, or a certain technique that they like to use. So what would be your quick tip for this episode?
Oh, for this episode, does it have to relate to this painting?
No, 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 no. It's a quick tip, something that you find useful overall as you paint.
The first 2 hours always the worst. It's just not the same. Like every painting I start, the first 1 or 2 hours, I always hated what I was doing. Like I would be like, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever." I could not paint, but
That's
then it
so
does get
interesting.
better.
That's
Yeah,
so
maybe because I'm
interesting.
like a really impatient person. Like if I start throwing things in and it doesn't look nice, I'll get really frustrated and I'll like cry myself to be like, I'm not good enough. But then like you just need like patience to go into the details and like actually analyze what's working and what's not working. So yeah, have patience.
Cool. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. Do you find yourself starting a painting and then you take a break and then you revisit this painting like a month later and you finish it then, or you're kind of like, no, I start this painting, I finish it straight away, and then I move to the next painting and then to the next painting?
Oh, I always have to finish straight away. Oh, not straight away in one sitting, but if I take a break from it for more than a couple of days, I would never go back to it.
Interesting. I think
But
I'm quite similar. I'm quite similar to that, to be honest. Yeah.
yeah, because I think I can get quite obsessive when I do something. Like I wouldn't be able to go to sleep if I don't finish it, or like finish it to the point that I can sleep. So
Interesting.
yeah, I do need to get things done. Like
Yeah.
for this painting, I probably did it like in a couple of days time. But I don't have any painting where I spend more than a week on. Like usually it has to finish in a week.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for this amazing painting. I guess I got to discover this painting and for the first time with the audience, because like the moment we switched on the call, I already had like the Photoshop file in like just a blank page. So it was very exciting to see like the water going up almost like in the colors going up in this painting as the episode goes through. Thank you so much for being so available and so flexible to do this. It has been a really, really amazing episode. Is there anything? Tell us how can people find you? Tell us what you up to at the moment. I guess you gave us a little bit of that in the beginning as well, but how can people
Yeah.
find you? What you up to at the moment? Tell us everything.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram _redsot. And sometime I'll be at market. I've been trying to go to market more. I did like a zine market on the weekend, just selling some zines I had. But yeah, mostly on Instagram these days. Like I do have my main job, which I spend most of my days on. So yeah, the show I'm working on gonna be out at the end of this year. It's called Maisie, my friend Maisie. So you'll be seeing my work very soon on TV.
Cool. Amazing. That's it, guys.
Thank you so much for having me as well. It's been really fun.
Thank you. Thank you. That it's been amazing. Like see this painting kind of unraveling itself as we talk has been like really pretty amazing. I need to let go of the layers. I need to start painting like most people that I interview here are much more organic in their approach than me, and I think I'm lacking that. So he's been like a learning, like watching this has been like a learning curve for me as well. But yeah, guys, if you stayed with us this far, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. And that's it. I'll see you guys next week with our next guests. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.